All right. Yeah. So let's do the Complice show.
Cool. So yeah, I basically think like, I can talk about kind of four key elements.
Just walk me through the thing.
I'll walk you through the thing. Okay.
Or should I sign up and I have to record, or like?
I think it'll work best. Well, actually, so yeah, I could walk you through it. Hang on a sec.
Walk me through like either your day in Complice or like a blank. Like, do you have something like the help database where you have a blank public thing or something?
Yeah, that would be good. It doesn't lend itself to that quite as naturally, just because of the nature of what it is. Like, it's like, but I agree that would be good. Let me see. I think I'm just gonna like make a fake. So I've got a thing set up so I can sort of make a fake account and like walk through a few days of using it and kind of show you what that looks like.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Good. So. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
You want me to start recording as screen clicks now?
I don't think you need to do that for the account creation, but
yeah, no, I know.
Anyway, so we're gonna do demo at oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, okay. That's just something new with what I was testing. Yeah.
Way better for us to do these without a live studio audience.
Pardon?
I'm just like, it's so much better to do this with a friendly audience than the studio audience, you know?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so here this demo account has made its account, and it's like, all right, goal number one, let's just copy what's there on the right, figure out life trajectory. So it's like, yeah, I don't know what I want to do with my life, but maybe if I think about it daily and also read some books and talk to friends, then that will help. So in terms of like, talking about how Complice is different, I really want to build in more features that like.
I noticed that there was a timer. So I noticed that there was a timer that looked like it was starting until you wrote the description. Right? Was that timer running and then it?
Yeah, it's supposed to run for a minute, but yeah, there's a lot of finicky stuff to this. So let me think about this for a sec. Like, because I used the test@complice.me address, it made this like a test account, which means that the timer only runs for a couple seconds because I was just like making a test.
Okay, gotcha.
But anyway, although it's designed to really like with the nudge philosophy really in mind. So it goes for a minute, but if you mouse over it earlier, it will let you skip it. Right. Gotcha. So someone's like, I just want to set my goals.
The continue button doesn't fire until until you've like sat and looked at it for a minute, basically.
Yeah, there's a skip button that only shows up if you mouse over the timer. Like if you're like actively impatient, it'll show up, but otherwise it makes it look like no, you just got to type.
That's very cool. Yeah, very cool.
So again, it's designed to nudge people. When I first got started with this, I thought I was going to like send people through like a multi-week, like my beta users. I thought I was going to send them through like a multi-week goal setting process, and they just like didn't respond to my emails. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to do something quicker. So this is, the quick.
Like when you say they didn't respond to your emails, was it 100% of the people didn't respond to your emails, or like that you had like a?
I had like a dozen, and maybe like 3 responded to the first email and 1 responded to the second email.
That sounds like an okay conversion rate. Like it sounds like it's not the worst thing to get like, at each subsequent thing, like 10%, only 10% are making it through to each subsequent one. Because if you have like 100 people and one person has their life completely changed by your multi-week setup, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just like.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I mean, in this case, like these were people who had like already paid, like. And
yeah.
So I don't know.
For sure.
I
I'm
think
just like,
I learned something about like you need a special context for people to actually set aside days and weeks to think about their goals. And now I don't try to get people to do that up front. Instead, it's more like, just start with something, right?
gotcha.
So it's like, okay, what's top priority for this? It's like, I don't know, read What Color Is Your Parachute? That's a book about this, right?
Yep.
And so then it's like, okay, we can you can check in on a particular date. Let's say check in on Thursday or something. I don't know. I'm just going to read the book, whatever. Okay, pick a color for this goal. This is a very, sort of Malcolm flavored thing. But it also it shows up a lot in the rest of Complice. It's like having picked a color for the goal, it's like a lot of things can then be sort of themed by that color.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, and there's like a few social features, not that much, but yeah, so then you hit add more goals, and it's like, all right, now goal number 2. Let's say goal number 2 is like,
so I like this. I just like that there's the first step gives you the one goal, and then the second step puts you in the context. Yeah, it's like, that's a nice flow.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. Like when people use Complice, I get like some percentage of people who message me being like, this is the most brilliantly designed thing I have ever seen. I get another percentage of people who message me that say, this is the absolute worst designed thing I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I imagine you get that a lot too, right? Like,
yeah.
It's like people are paying attention to different stuff, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think this is one of those things where, yeah, like custom CSS would be, like the product design is really nice. I personally don't like the typography.
Right. I mean, just specific fonts or whatever. I tried CSS. There's like, CSS filters now have a thing that lets you literally just desaturate.
Your mic's out again. Your mic's fucked up.
Pardon?
Your mic is fucked up again.
God damn it. Okay, is the mic better?
Can you make some extra?
Saying more things.
Can you make some extra? You don't have to. Fine.
This is gonna taste terrible.
I don't care. An egg.
I just don't want to make extra except batteries.
All right, fine. Don't make extra.
No, there's like a bunch of tahini.
Oh, that's disgusting. What the fuck?
There's like 170 calories.
Malcolm, look at Josh. Look what happened to Josh. You see that? Do you see that?
I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
You're looking at Josh as turned into a fucking gladiator, is what you're looking at. Like, Josh has just gone, like, Witcher style ripped. Anyways.
And you gotta just like wake up, work out, code, work out.
That's what Josh does. That's what Josh does. I don't have the dedication. I get so tired after I work out. And like, it's like, I can't do shit for like hours.
You just gotta take loads of caffeine beforehand.
I know.
That's what I've been taking like 2 scoops of that shit.
Off the crazy. I'm gonna
Some like fucking.
I was made You want this glass? Is this your direct?
Yo, I'm gonna go to a different mic.
You put tahini and fucking peanut butter in there.
This is
Almond butter? Nut butter? I'm just really leaning into the whole Rome is an ADD company here, Malcolm. Malcolm's gone. Okay, nice.
Man, that's fucking gross. I don't know. That's too gross. You could just put like actual almond.
Wish I had to work out before.
Hey, did you get the right It's actually gonna blend all.
Yeah. Dude, when you allow yourself to have some like minor amount of carbs, ketchup plus Worcestershire sauce is the most amazing barbecue sauce. It's just ketchup.
I mean, that is.
I know, but I've never had barbecue sauce. I just made it at my house.
I used to do it.
I don't understand why I would have ever eaten fucking store-bought barbecue sauce.
When like
It's just
no,
ketchup.
it's usually that plus brown sugar.
And brown sugar, I like brown sugar. You put sugar in it?
I mean, as kids, there's like ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and brown sugar.
And then ketchup was just sauce.
I mean, yeah.
All right. What is go? Oh, all right. We're good.
I think I've got a new mic.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds much better.
Okay, sweet.
This is just like, yeah. I don't know. I was saying.
I'm super glad we didn't try to do this shit live.
Also, I'm just like leaning super hard into the Rome ADD culture, like getting up, eating some pulled pork, drinking a fucking creatine. Yeah.
Totally. All right, where were we? Okay, I think this mic is going to be consistent, unlike the other one, because it's not a USB mic.
Yeah, just give it 1 second because we got
Are you on? Connor, did you say pause for some reason?
Yeah, I'm trying to activate screen flicks.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we're gonna do the thing. I want you to should be able to do the thing. Oh, I want to do you're good. You're good.
Okay, good to go?
Wait. Yeah. Starting now.
All right, so, say you go to so you're setting your goals, having just signed up for the app, and you're like, okay, second goal I'm setting, build a second brain. I'm gonna like sign up for Nat's Rome course.
Wait, so interesting thing here. So in the first time describing it has you with that 1 minute timer, but every subsequent goal you do not have to write a description.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't give you that sort of prompt either for.
Yeah, that would probably be good. Like just a little kind of thing, like when you hit a new goal, or something like that. But I don't know. It's like I don't want to bother users too much, right? Like it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you say, like sometimes it would probably be good to like bother them more or whatever. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
mean, if it bothers them, but it helps them, it's like you can be the fucking Barry's boot camp of goal setting, right? Like some people like to get bothered. And they pay.
Right, totally. And I mean, I've even thought of like having a setting where like the app would message you with a different flavor depending on what you wanted. Like, and there'd be like drill sergeant, like friend, so I don't know, something like that. But I haven't really gone very far into like the bot space. So most of the things are just sort of written pretty much as I would write them.
Okay, cool.
And let's just do one third goal, and it is get ripped. And we're not even going to put in details for that. We're just like, yeah, we know what that's about. So then it's like, okay, now it's time to go up here. And you go here. And this is something that like, I'd like to make this a little smoother, but I've yet to figure out quite how to do it. Like some people just sort of bounce off this page. They're like, what's going on here?
But like basically part of the whole point, and it's so hard to get people to read any introduction text, but part of the whole point is like, instead of just having a bunch of random tasks, like all of your tasks are like really clear. Like, do they go towards one of your goals, or not? Like, are they just something random, or do they go towards multiple goals, or like, you know, kind of what's going on with your tasks? So it's so that's why it's like, you know, you have to start the task like with the number of the goal. Anyway, so we could put in for 3. It's like, you know, do 10 push-ups. And then we're like, you know what else? Like do 10 sit-ups too as well.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, cool. So sort of like walking you through, and then it's like, you know, by the way, like you can put in a miscellaneous goal, right? So it's kind of trying to show you what it looks like. You know, miscellaneous goal, like take a shower, something. And then it's like, oh, it's like it knows that it's evening time, right? So like Complice is designed to be like really context sensitive. And so it's like, oh, actually, yeah, you know, I already figure out life trajectory. Well, I think actually, like, I don't know, that like sign up for Complice is actually, you know, a pretty good thing for figuring out my life trajectory, because it's all about goals. So yeah, so then, you know, then you hit submit intentions for the day, and then it's like, do you want to get emails to be reminded? The emails also do something clever, which is that if you've been using the app like every day in a row for a few days, it like stops sending you the daily emails until you miss a day on the app, and then it emails you again. So it's like designed to be like only bothering you when you need to be bothered and not otherwise. So then you're going here, and you got to confirm your email, but I'll just click a button to take care of that for the test user. But so yeah, so it's saying, okay, you can drag the order things in the order you're going to do them. And I mean, that's pretty basic kind of to-do list type stuff. Mm-hmm. So what's different here, right? Like that's part of why we're on this call. It's like the question is what's different. And we've already seen kind of thing number 1 that's different is we're looking at a bunch of goals first, not a bunch of tasks, right? Like the first step in a GTD system is like dump in a bunch of your tasks kind of thing, right? But you know, with Complice, it's like, okay, at this point, having kind of gone through the tutorial, it's now time to do stuff, right? Yep. It's like there's no more screwing around with organizing stuff. It's like, nope, it's time to get to work. Like I'm just gonna do 10 sit-ups right now, like 10 push-ups. Mm-hmm. You can follow along at home, you know. I mean, you just did your workout stuff.
Well, I'm gonna follow my goal of optimize my mental state by going and having a cigarette too.
Cool. So it's like, okay, now I've come back here, and I've got do 10 sit-ups, do 10 push-ups, and you know I can kind of check those off. Oh, sign up for Complice, right? I already did this, so I can check that off too. And maybe I'm like, you know, I'm actually not gonna take a shower. So there's no way to delete an intention, because it's sort of like, this is not like some random task. This is a thing you intended to do today, and there's no way to unintend to do it today. But there is a never mind button.
I like this.
And so never mind just sort of puts it over there, kind of crosses it off with a red line instead of a gold colored line. And so then it's like, okay, well, there's actually nothing left to do. If I hit hide completed items, it's totally empty. So maybe, you know, I put in another thing, build a second brand. So I'm going to talk to Connor.
You just gave me an idea. I might extend our to-do feature. Actually, I just realized that like
it should just have a never mind state.
Yeah, it like, and I basically realized that we could have a like on hover or something like this, or like, you know,
Like basically like we could use some CSS thing to have a never mind when you hover over the checkbox, like give you some option for this or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting. So.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great. I like that state a lot. I like that.
Yeah. And I mean, what's interesting here is in some cases, never mind actually does mean you're going to take care of it tomorrow. But the point is, for today, you can say never mind to that. And at some point, I may actually differentiate those a little bit, where it's like you can explicitly say, no, never mind this thing forever, versus a different button that makes it sort of show up for tomorrow. But I haven't done that. So anyway, so now we're going to hit enter outcomes for today. Because like say the day's over, and there's a Pomodoro timer up here. You get a lot of other stuff, but so hit enter outcomes.
Like what's the Pomodoro timer? You just press play and then it just does a Pomodoro.
Yeah, I'll do a little demo of that later. But for now, I want to sort of show the basic structure of the day.
Yep. This seems good.
So you hit submit outcomes. You would typically submit outcomes like kind of at the end of the day or the next morning. And in fact, say we don't submit outcomes for now, like and the person kind of like goes to bed and
wait, walk me through the ideal state first before we go to the suboptimal ideal state. So like the ideal state is that you submit outcomes at the end of the day.
Well, it can be, yeah. I mean, some people like submitting them the next day, but so let's actually submit the outcomes and so it's like, okay, sign up for Complice. I did that. Yeah, I think signing up for Complice is like enough for my figure out life trajectory goal. That's like a pretty big step. And talk to Connor. Oh, this isn't checked off yet, but I can check that off because I did that now. Is this enough? Not really. Like, I don't know. Talking to Connor, it doesn't actually like help build my second brain. It's like a good step, but like it's not going to get me there. If there's not anything in one of these, I'll show you that later, but it shows up with a day off button. Do 10 sit-ups, do some push-ups. Yeah, that feels like a good start. I mean, it's not on its own, it's not going to be enough, but like it feels like a good start. So I'm going to type in here, feels like a good start. I need to look up workout routines. And so this miscellaneous one, there's no is this enough for the miscellaneous, because miscellaneous is like there's nothing for it to be enough towards kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could argue it's like, is this enough for me to like be fed and watered and like, basic necessities or something, but Complice has sort of taken a opinionated stance on that. And you can see the priorities are here too. So it's like you can sort of see in relation to these top priorities. The top priorities are like the only things aside from the goal that actually persist across days. So once we hit submit Monday outcomes, boom, that's a streak feature that is not totally working yet, but it's showing up on this. Yeah.
I don't see the streak feature. I don't see a streak feature yet. I just see submit Monday outcomes.
Yeah, and it just popped up. And oh wait, are you seeing submit Tuesday intentions now? Like,
no, I just see submit Monday outcomes.
Oh, weird.
There we go. Yeah, and then it says, "What are your goals for tomorrow?"
Okay, yeah. So so it's now we've submitted things for Monday, and now it's saying, okay, it's we want to plan for tomorrow. So we're gonna I'm gonna get parachute book on Kindle, because I'm like that's my top thing here. And then there's like, okay, what's this dailies thing? So you can actually just put in some default intentions for every day. We're going to say, I'm actually going to do 10 push-ups and do 10 sit-ups every day, right? So that's not goal 1, that's goal 3. Do 10 sit-ups.
Tangent, is that like a like draft.js or something like that? Like you gotta, like, it looks like your WYSIWYG text editor is. Oh my God,
this is not a WYSIWYG text editor. What it does is it's got 2 layers, right? So you've got an invisible text area on top of a visible element. It's the the sort of classic hack, and it is actually just plain text. And this is kind of fun, because it's like, it means if you draft some intentions somewhere else,
you can just paste them in.
You can just paste them in, yeah. Complice started as being entirely text-based. Okay. Like you would just send it an email every day with your list of intentions, and then send another one with your list of outcomes.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's like very, very text-friendly, and it can kind of paste stuff in. So yeah, this colored intention thing was fun and challenging to build. Anyway, so let's say that these are just the two things I want to do every day. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I actually have to push this button to manually add the dailies to the day. It's again, one of the really core principles of Complice is to avoid staleness. So you notice, like with a typical app, that thing you put in of like take a shower, would like sort of still be on your list. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you see, it's not on the list anywhere here. We got a fresh place to start with.
Yep.
However, we might be, well, what didn't I do yesterday? Oh yeah, take a shower. I really do need to do that actually though. So I'm going to add that back.
It's
And so
super
then
bullet journaling.
Pardon?
It's totally bullet journaling. You're even doing the Bujo, like, having the extra comma for like each subsequent day that you're pushing it forward.
Really? I invented that independently.
Yeah, no, that's like super popular in the whole bullet journaling community. They do the same thing of like when they move something forward, they put an extra like thing on it for each day that they push it forward.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah.
This is like for us, like similar to like block graphs where like the number goes up each day that you push a to-do forward. Like a lot of people who have bullet journaling background, when they want to move a to-do from one day to the next day, they'll reference it, right? And so then you get this counter that is always increasing on the block graphs because.
Oh, nice. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole conversation we need to have about like how it's actually going to look to have Complice and Roam integrated at whatever phase of or extent of integration.
Yeah.
Cool stuff there. Anyway, so let's say this is our list. We're not doing anything fancy here. So, submit intentions. Okay, these are now intentions for tomorrow. This button shouldn't be showing up there. That's a bug. I don't know what's going on with that. But I am at the moment actually. Oh, never mind. Anyway, so it's saying 4 intentions for tomorrow, and we're now going to go in here and simulate the passage of time. And so when we refresh, time has passed. Now it says today, Tuesday, May 26th. And so, you go through your day, say that you start a Pomodoro timer, right? And, you just basically hit the play button on that. I'm again going to sort of fast forward the passage of time. I actually built this time fast forwarder in the last couple hours as a way to make this demo actually work at all. Nice. Because like literally otherwise there's just no way to demo multiple days of using the app. It's just like because you can't keep going into the future with it. It's actually easier to build than I thought. So I think that's actually something super valuable I've already gotten out of like having this call is like it made me build that thing.
Good.
So anyway, let's say I've got the parachute. Oh, it's all got hotkeys too. Got to have hotkeys. So let's say I've actually acquired the parachute book, and now I'm like read parachute book. So now it's like Pomodoro finished. Time to take a 5-minute break. And so okay, start break. And then you get this little work block, this little tomato with a 25 in it, and you can actually drag that on top of like reading the book.
Oh, cool.
And it had a little jumpy thing because there was sort of a tip, and the tip only shows up if you have a Pomo to drag. Oh, no, I guess it actually, once you've dragged a Pomo, it disappears forever because it's like, oh, you figured it out. Great. So yeah, and it's got like subtle, clever stuff. Like if I said, read parachute book for 2 Pomos and say that, oh, I see what happened. Hang on a sec. Anyway, okay, so say, you say read parachute book for 2 Pomos and like you drag a second Pomo on it, then it's like, bam, you did it. Like, so like a lot of like just like a little subtle stuff like that is part of what's going on here. Just trying to like really get you in the experience of like doing stuff and like feeling like the app sort of like knows what's going on for you at any given time, which like I guess I haven't really thought about this explicitly, but like a typical to-do list app is much more just kind of like it sounds like a big place to dump stuff, right?
Yep.
And I mean that can be fine, and in practice the kinds of behaviors that a lot of these apps support involves a lot of these kind of attractors that are pretty unworkable. and like you end up with this really long list of stuff you're never going to do, and then your trusted system becomes not a trusted system anymore because the list is so long of stuff you're not going to do that you need to like archive all that stuff, make a new list, you know. And I have a bit of a rant on the Complice page that I need to make it more public. It's currently kind of in draft form, but it's sort of a rant comparing the Complice philosophy to the GTD philosophy.
Yep.
And I found myself thinking that in a similar way to how I don't really resonate totally with like the idea of like building a second brain in Evernote, and like, you know, Tiago's comments of like, you know, once your notes have turned into a blog post, like you can just burn them or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's like similarly, I think that there's a similar thing going on with like GTD as you'd implement it in any normal like task app versus something that is somehow like GTD, but implemented in something like Roam. Because like Roam and Complice both in a different way have a sense of like the passage of time. So it's like, so it's like with Roam, it's like, yeah, stuff fades into the past when, you know, if you've added it to your daily notes or whatever, but you can still reference it later, right?
Exactly.
And that's what you want in a knowledge management app. For Complice, it's like stuff goes into the past, but you know, if it's a task, it's like you're either going to like remember it because you've got this goal that needs to have that task done towards it, or you're going to forget about it, and that's actually fine, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you also might see it again at the point when you get to your weekly review, which is a thing that sort of shows up.
Give me 1 second. Pause for 1 second, and let me
Totally.
Just give me 1 second.
I'm just going to take this moment while Connor's away to point out that I've clicked this button, which sets it into continuous mode. So now the Pomodoro, like the next Pomo, just like starts automatically at the end of the break, and you usually get like a little bell sound. This browser doesn't have that enabled, but you can like it'll make a little ding sound and then it'll switch. So yeah, having it be able to switch automatically.
Wait, Malcolm, I haven't been here.
What's up?
I stepped away from the computer for a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was just like explaining a tiny thing while you're away.
Okay. Oh, nice. Just to the recording?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Sorry. I was egotistical. All right. Sorry. Proceed.
No, it's all good. Are you back or?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I was just saying, I put the Pomodoro timer in like continuous mode. So instead of being like, hello, I'm done, is it time to start another session? It just like automatically dings. I've had some really productive days just starting that timer continuously and just following it like really religiously. It's like break time. Okay, gonna meditate, gonna take a walk, you know, break's over. All right, back to work, you know, and then just doing that for like 8 hours or 10 hours or something. And it's just like, wow, like I'm just like doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, some people like the one-off mode, I think, because it makes them sort of more intentional about it. It's very easy to let the Pomos kind of fade into the background if you're doing that.
Yeah.
I got some webhooks set up. They're currently broken. I don't know why, but I got some webhooks set up to like make a Philips Hue light in my room turn red when I'm in a Pomodoro and turn green when I'm in a break.
That's sick.
Which is pretty sweet. If you're watching this, that is currently not a like publicly available feature, but ping me and I'll get you set up. Okay, where were we? Okay, so like let's say we're done with Tuesday. We're gonna like you know, oh, we didn't do our push-ups and sit-ups today, so we're gonna say actually no, this is not enough. We are not gonna get ripped if we don't do our push-ups and sit-ups. And also sort of let's say this day was like day off towards this build a second brain goal.
Yep.
Oh, actually, no, wait. Now that I think about it, I totally took some notes in Roam on the parachute book, right? So it's kind of like realizing, wait, I actually did something today, you know, that I hadn't realized was towards this goal, but now that I think about it, it actually is. And I also like made a book template in Roam. So that's like, okay, like there's a thing I hadn't been thinking about, but actually I think this is enough. Like this is a good start. This is that, you know, something I wasn't doing, you know, earlier, but now it's like kind of getting going. And let's just say that I took that shower. Oh, right. So it still thinks it's like Tuesday morning. So it's like checking in. Like, are you sure? Are you actually done for the day? Like, because like some new users have sometimes like tried to submit their outcomes like in the middle of the day. And this is designed to prevent that. Finish day. Okay, cool. So I had started drafting this yesterday, but I didn't actually hit submit on it. But there it is, like set up in there, and move workflowy stuff over to Rome. And we gotta click my dailies again. Gotcha. Yep. Pull in my push-ups and sit-ups. And let's like actually look up better body weight things. So this is kind of going along. Let's say that like all of these happen today. But it's still saying it's tomorrow. So hang on, we gotta get our good old passage of time going again. I'm actually gonna fast forward all the way to Thursday morning. So these are Wednesday's intentions. You show up Thursday morning and maybe it didn't needs more time. Okay, so now it's Wednesday, and now it's Thursday morning, and it just automatically goes to your outcomes. So you can't just like keep working on this old list. Instead, it like interrupts you, and it's like, hey, this is your old list. Like, think about it for a moment. Think about yesterday. Okay, yeah, this is great. This is great. I didn't do this this thing. I've actually signed up for Nat's Rome course now, so I'm gonna complete this this priority here. Did I learn anything useful from focusing on this priority? Yeah, like turns out I was nervous to commit, but I meditated on it briefly, and I was like, yes. Right, so it's like, just prompting this kind of metacognition.
Yep.
And and I'm going to say, oh, actually, this is saying like, did I complete this on Thursday? But I actually did complete it yesterday, so I'm going to go and correct that. That's a bug. I need to fix that. I think that bug is not actually shipped yet, though.
Okay. Wait, so where's the? How did signing up for Nat's course trigger the thing in 2? You rewind for a second, like.
How did which thing?
So that state you were just in, where you're saying, "Did I learn something?" Like, I was slightly confused. Oh, so you.
Yeah. So that's the like top priorities thing, which is like a multi-day, thing that you're working on. It's not like the whole goal, but it's like a big chunk of the goal. So like for you right now, that might be something like, I don't know what you're working on the time scale of like a week or two, but like last week it might have been like
shipping payments,
right? So like shipping payments, yeah, totally. So it's like you're not going to like get that done like in one day, but it's like kind of like here's the thing. Other things towards this goal still matter, but like this is what I really need to focus on right now. Is kind of what that's. Okay, so here we are Thursday morning. We're saying, yeah, what did I do to my goals yesterday? Submit outcomes, and now it's like, hey, like you have this streak of like doing things a few days in a row. This streak thing is it has not yet shipped. It's currently slightly buggy. It's almost done, but it's not showing the new data. So anyway, but that's fine. So when we go to the timeline, we can see here's Wednesday, here's Tuesday, here's Monday. Like here's kind of like the history of the different days and like the starting of the goals. So you can kind of like see your progress on this, including these like milestones. Priorities turn into milestones like once you completed them, basically.
Yep.
And once you have enough days, it actually shows a table here at the top. So if we go to Malcolm, like my page, the only goal that I have like publicly visible is the Complice goal itself. The rest of my goals are sufficiently like weird or whatever that it's easier to not have them public. And one of the things I put on my intentions today was like respond to Connor's tweets, because I was like, oh, that's a sort of opportunistic kind of thing. I think I was gonna put this call on there, but I hadn't actually done that yet. Anyway, But yeah, so you can see how this table shows up, and it also shows you kind of like how many Pomodoros you did each day and that kind of thing.
Cool.
And what else? So yeah, so I mean, I've shown you kind of the basic cycle of like the basic kind of workflow of like set intentions.
Did you say there was a weekly reflection thing too, or?
Yeah, that hasn't shown up here yet on this account because it's not like it hasn't hit the sort of default like weekend time for that. But let me just actually go and let's just like make time pass even more. So now it is Saturday. And we're gonna like, okay, like here's something, and just submit outcomes for Saturday. Played Frisbee. Then did a ton of push-ups with Josh. Cool. And that's Saturday's outcomes. Tool streaks are still broken. That's fine. So now it's saying like, oh, hey, it's like Sunday. You've got these, hang on. Yeah, so it's like it's Sunday. You've got this like this weekly review to do, and it shows you a reminder both here, but also like here's a reminder to like put this intention in your list for today. Like when you click this button, it just adds it there, and it adds it as miscellaneous, but like you can go and change it to like I think I'm actually going to call this weekly review as going towards my figure out life trajectory goal because like I don't know, that seems relevant.
Yep.
I've been thinking about like really wishing somehow that like the weekly reviews in Complice were like already inside Rome because I'm like, man, it feels weird to be like typing all of this like weirdly like isolated prose outside of Rome. That's a thought I've had recently, so that's one thing to sort of explore. Anyway, let's just say that's my intention for the day. This automatically linkifies, so now we're over here checking out this review, and so it shows you kind of, instead of now broken up by day, now it's broken up by goal. And so you can look at, okay, here's this goal the entire week. Like, what did I do this week? Now in this case, it doesn't look super good. These, kind of missed these 2 days. Actually, I cleared away the reminders to do those 2 days because I thought they were part of a bug that's a whole thing. But anyway, you normally get reminders to like go and submit these incomplete days as well.
Yep.
And so if you go to the timeline, basically you can fill in like, oh, here's 2 blank days, and you click that, and it's like, we got some blank days to fill in here,
And so then is that reflection? Yeah, cool. You got a little prompt there for that.
Yeah, and this is like just a total rich text editor basically,
Yep.
with a couple of kind of like handmade like really liked this quote from the book. You can so you got like block quotes.
Cool.
Whatever quote. I'm not actually going to try to type it. I'm going to be too clever here, I think. And it's got like like highlighting too. Like highlight slightly in the gold color, which is probably like to some people obnoxious, but somehow I think it's good. So you can, and then when you're in here, it's like you can also go through and reflect on these goals. So I'm like sort of like, okay, well, this said it was due on like Friday or something, but I'm just gonna like push the deadline back till next week because like I am reading it. I'm not done with it yet. So it's like, it'll check in with me again next week. And now it's not overdue anymore. The other thing that's kind of cool is like, so you can change these questions, right? Because it's all rich text. You're like, what books did you read that were relevant? And maybe it's also like, what friends did you talk to? And there's a hotkey Control-Alt-4. I don't know, to make that a thing. But you can also just kind of copy paste and it works pretty well. But the magic is so you've customized the questions. When you blur the field, it's like, hey, you changed these questions. Like, do you want to use these same questions for your future reviews? And you just hit yes. And then when it's like week 23, and you scroll down here, it's like it already has these new questions, right? So it's like really fluid. And I was just literally in my weekly review yesterday, I was adding a bunch of like questions based on systems thinking, which is really cool. It's like, where have you got positive feedback loops that you can like pour more gas on the fire with? And literally the thing I was thinking, I was like, I feel like me tweeting more about Complice has been kind of doing that. And then like, that was yesterday. And then today, or like literally a few hours later, I don't know. You were like, quoting one of my tweets, and it was getting a bunch of
traffic. Yeah, this is great. This is really good. Okay.
So that's the weekly reviews. There's also monthly reviews. Oh, and if you click the reviews page kind of more generally. Oh, and this still has a 1 because it's like you didn't actually finish the review, right?
Okay. What happens?
And it shows up here as like partially done. So the monthly reviews, they've got a lovely kind of calendar shaped thing, and you can actually click on the day and sort of see what you did each day. And it shows you some stats, reminds you kind of what the purpose of the goal is, and it has slightly custom questions the very first month, because it's like wanting to kind of, you want a different reflection on month 1 of a goal than you do like a year in or something like that.
Yep.
Typical ideal goal size, by the way, I would say is like anywhere between like 2 months and like 2 years. I mean, you can do longer, you can do shorter, both of those work, but I would say that's kind of the ideal range. And then ideal length for like a priority is like 5 days to 5 weeks. Or even like, I don't know, 3 days could be fine. And again, you can customize these questions here. One thing that I really like actually is on the weekly reviews, I have custom miscellaneous questions. And so I actually use this to reflect. So I don't currently have a like fitness related goal in Complice, but I have a question here that's like, how's your fitness/workout routine? Because I just like want to check in on it every week. Like, did I actually work out this week? It's not like a goal that I'm like every day. Okay, what am I? But it's something like I don't want to like let that slip by.
Yep.
So, and then again, it says like, do you want this question for future? Yeah, let's do it. What else? Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the core engine of Complice that's like really different.
Cool. I'm going to stop the recording.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop the screen recording. Let me do it. Cool. Complice V2.
Well, the one last thing that I'll just say is there's these co-working rooms, which we're currently just on my computer, so it's not showing. There's no rooms that are active. But if we go on complice.co/rooms, there's usually a couple of rooms that like have like public rooms that have some people in it, and you can also like make your own room. And this is really cool because like you join it and it shows you. I'm not logged in, but basically you join the room and it shows you like here's a list of like all the people in the room and like what they're working on. Here's here's what you're working on, and then you can see people.
Wait, go back, start this over. I'm going to just screen record this part.
Okay.
Go back, tell me when you're ready.
I'm just actually, hang on. I'm just going to log in as this new account and like make some things, because I think that'll like illustrate it better.
I'll start the recording so I can see what you're doing.
Oh shit! Hang on. No, it's not happy about that. Hang on.
Yeah, just show the feature of the. Yeah, let's show the study rooms. This is cool.
Yeah, so we got these like co-working rooms. There's one here in Russian, and there's this one, and there's also lots of private ones, but they're not like visible. When you go to a room, you can either like log into your account, or you can just join the room as a guest. And I think it'd be really cool to make like a Rome cult room, basically.
Yeah.
But I want to give it a name that's different than Rome cult, so that like the room is just like has a name, right? or something. I don't know.
Well,
I've been
let's
thinking
go to
about
the
this.
less wrong room as a guest. I want to see what happens when you go in there.
Yeah. So Malcolm testing demo, and yeah. So there's a couple people in here, and it's just got it's got this done button. It's got this never mind button basically, and so let's say okay,
You
like
start through a Pomodoro. Cool.
yeah, and the timer's already running, right? And then so this is basically I've gone a little backwards here. Let me just hit cancel, right? So I currently don't actually have a new action right now, but that's fine. So basically this is like synchronized Pomodoros with people, because like you may have noticed like it's like hard to find a context online where you can both like be social and also get shit done. It's like very easy to have one or the other. Well, for different people, more so one or the other, but like but it's very hard to like actually have both of these. And what's great about this is like when the Pomodoro happens, it like posts right in the chat. So it's like really obvious, like it is time to stop chatting and like start, start doing whatever you're doing. And then you can see what other people are working on and like show task completion example. And so it says, Malcolm testing is now working on show task completion example. When I hit done on that, it actually shows like in the background, like, Malcolm completed this, right? So it's like, it's like a little bit of like activity kind of thing. You can sort of show off that you're getting stuff done. If you have like oh weird, I gotta fix that. Anyway, but if you have Pomodoros like assigned to your thing, then they show up here too, right? So it's like other people can see like, oh man, like look at this, he's done all these tomatoes, right? Like, wow. You can also have another timer mode. So the built-in timer has another mode which is called the hourglass. And unlike a Pomodoro, you can actually pause an hourglass by turning it sideways. This works in real life too. And I think a lot about metaphors when I'm designing things. It's like an actual Pomodoro kitchen timer has no paused state on it. It's either ticking or it's stopped. Like or it's done. Anyway, so it's got this little hourglass timer, and with these, when you're done, you get this little like sand pile instead of a tomato, and then you can like assign that to your thing, and then it like checks in how focused you were.
Oh, that's cool.
I kind of went through that really quickly, but let me show it a little slower. So you can also just like manually say, oh, I worked for 20 minutes on this, and and then drag that there, and it's saying like how focused were you during these 20 minutes. And let's say this time it's actually not very focused at all. So it kind of, it's like, it's pretty tiny and like hard to see there, but like there's a little, like it's sort of filled up depending on how focused you are.
That's cool.
The idea is that like a Pomodoro is like completely 100% utterly focused.
But a timer, you might be working on something for 2 hours and not be super focused on it.
Yeah, and then you can just be like, okay, yeah, it was this or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to add like a stopwatch and a couple of other things. Haven't gotten to those yet. The hourglass is actually pretty new. For a while, the Pomo was the only mode, except that there's also in rooms, you can make a room have like a schedule for the whole day. So like, if you want to do like a sort of personal hackathon kind of thing, or some sort of event that has like these work periods, and then we take a break for lunch, and like and then at this time we're all going to do a workout. You can make a kind of custom schedule there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm killing that demo. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's what there is.
Sick. Yeah, is there, so let's pause the recording on your end for a second.
Yeah.
Or like stop it and then